Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Swati, and on this channel, I talk about books. I feel like I have been thinking about reading much more than I have been reading, which is not a good thing. I have bought a bunch of books that I want to show you and that I'm very excited to read. I Other than that, I have been currently reading, I think, two books simultaneously, and I'm also listening to one audiobook, which is helping a lot it's because I don't get enough time these days to read, and whenever I get some alone time, I just put on the audiobook and listen to it. And what I have been doing, a new thing, is that I am listening to it on the original speed. Uh, Usually, when I would listen to an audiobook, I would always listen it on 1.5x, and this time I deliberately decided to listen it on 1x, so that I would get more out of it. I would be more attentive to the details, and I don't want to miss anything. So the book that I am listening to on audiobook is called If an Egyptian Cannot Speak English by Noor Naga, and I think I am more than halfway through. And it is a book about Egypt, about two people, one whose family got out of there and moved to America, and she has this life where she can return to. And there's this another man who whose family could not or would not get out of Egypt, and I'm not aware, like I'm not entirely aware of their socio-political and economic condition, but I'm just assuming that it's not really good, and it just shows the contrasting situation that these two people come from, and how they meet, and how their relationship is impacted by where they came from. And it is kind of the prose is really beautiful, and it's written in a way which keeps you engaged, which I am enjoying so much. And yeah, I'll give you the full review after I complete it. So another book that I am kind of currently reading is The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I think it's wrong to say that I'm currently reading this book because I have not picked it up for like a month now. I kind of reached through, like, I was almost halfway, not halfway, but more than, like, I had finished one fourth of the book. And it's not that I was not liking it, but it's just that whenever I read like big books, I kind of get distracted, and if I don't deliberately and mindfully pick it up, I would forget about it. So it's taking a lot of time, and I plan on to read it more. Even if I read one page each day, i I want to keep reading it. It's about like these three brothers. I feel like I have forgotten the details of it, but I remember underlining a lot of it and annotating a lot of it. And it's about these three brothers whose father is kind of a troubled man, and how these three brothers are completely different from each other. They have different value systems. They grew up in different situations, and I the major event that everyone talks about that will happen in this book has not happened yet. And but I have heard people finding it boring, but that was not the case with me. I am quite enjoying it. Whatever I have read, I have enjoyed it thoroughly. It's kind of the book that I like. I think I also have a bias towards Fyodor Dostoevsky. I like everything he writes, so maybe that's the case here too. And yeah, I will maybe update you after I finish it. If I finish it, um, and then I'm also kind of reading. I'm reading it much more diligently than others. It's called Aapka Banti by Manu Bhandari. It was a book suggested by one of my subscribers, and it's a part of the book Hindi books that I want to read, that I wanted to read this year. And so this is going to be the third book that I read in Hindi this year, and I am kind of, where am I? I think I am halfway through, and it's about this boy who's like, it's from his perspective mostly, but it is not narrated by him. And he's, I think, 10 years old, and he 9 or 10 years old, and he's living with his mother who is single. Like, she's a single mother, and she is a school principal, and his parents has been separated his whole life, and he just doesn't realize the gravity of it. And when it becomes official, the toll it takes on his mental health, and how he reacts to it, and how a young boy is kind of dealing with the changing situations around him, is kind of heart wrenching to read. And it also shows the, like, the um, responsibility and the baggage on the single mother to, like, raise a boy while living alone. And this is set in, like, I think it's set in like post independence India. I don't know when was it written. 1970. So yeah, it's quite old book, and it's also modern in that way. It shows a lot of, like, I can see the situations that these people are living, and I can also relate to it and also understand it. Not relate to it, but understand it. And I'm kind of, at first it was, whenever I read a Hindi book, it gets difficult to read at first, but after some time I am getting in, like, flow with it, and it's getting easier to read. And but also the story is, like, getting its hold on me. So yeah, I'm liking it so far, and I'll give you the review of it after I read it. So these are the, like, the books that I am currently or barely reading currently. I and there are, like, one, two, three, four, five books that I have on me, on my TBR, that I want to talk about, and I'm kind of excited to read and all those things. So yeah. So there is, so the first one is Mustache by S. Harish, and it is translated from Malayalam by Jayashri Kalathil. So yeah, this is, I don't know when it was first published. Let me see. 2018, and translated in 2020. And so it is a quite new book, and it's I have some idea about what this book is about, but I don't fully know. So I'll just read the blurb to you. It says here, Vavachan is a Pulayan who gets the opportunity to play a policeman with an immense mustache in a musical drama. The character appears in only two scenes and has no dialogue. However, Vavachan's performance and his mustache terrify the mostly upper caste audience, reviving in them memories of characters of Dalit power, such as Ravana. Afterwards, Vavachan, whose people were traditionally banned from growing facial hair, refuses to shave off his mustache. Endless tales invent and reinvent the legend of his magic mustache, in which birds roost, which allows its owner to appear simultaneously in different places and appear in an instant, which grows as high as the sky as a sky and as thick as rain clouds, and turn Vavachan into mustache, a figure of mythic proportions, set in Kutanand, sea below sea level farming region on the southwest coast of Kerala. The novel is as much a story of this land as it is of Vachan and its other inhabitants. As they navigate the intricate land's waterscape, stories unfold in which ecology, power dynamics, and politics become key themes. Originally published in Malayalam as Nisha S. Harish's Moustache is a contemporary classic mixing magic, myth, and metaphor into a tale of far reaching resonance. So, I bought this because I heard of it on the internet. I don't know where, but I one of the resolutions, one of the reading goals of this year is for me is to read widely and like from different genres and from different regions and like expand my reading horizon, and this is kind of an effort towards that, and it seems really interesting to like it feels like it will be a interesting read. The next book that I got was 1984 by George Orwell. This is a classic. This is a dystopian classic, and it's dystopian literature is one of my favorite genre of books that I read and I love. And it's whenever I read a dystopian literature, I become aware and also scared of everything. But it's good to be aware, right? And does it say what it is about? Yeah. Hidden away in the record department of the sprawling Ministry of Truth, Winston Smith skillfully rewrites the past to suit the needs of the party. Yet he inwardly rebels against the totalitarian world he lives in, which demands absolute obedience and controls him through the all seeing telescreens and the watchful eye of Big Brother, symbolic head of the party. In his longing for truth and liberty, Smith begins a secret affair with a fellow worker, Julia, but soon discovers the true price of freedom is betrayal. Yeah. And the next book is totally different. It's a romance by, oh my gosh. It's a romance by Emily Henry, Happy Place. It's about like these two people who I think they are dating. Yeah, they are a couple. They go on this holiday every year to drink wine and to with their favorite people in the world. And but this year they are not. They will not go, because they have broken up. It says here. It's not spoiling anything. Uh, So it's kind of like two people break up and they fake date because they have not told people to, because like they have not told their friends that they have broken up. So they will pretend for one summer or one holiday that they are dating. So yeah, I have heard great things about this book, and I always like Emily Henry's books. Like she writes romances which feel real, and she writes characters which are relatable and seem like they should fall in love. And yeah, wait. So the next book that I got is Big Magic. This is by Elizabeth Gilbert, and this is one book that I have seen all over the internet, and it's about creativity and being creative and how to find inspiration and like what goes into it, and I how to live more creative life. So yeah, that's why I bought it, and I'll tell you later on how was it. I Later on I realized that this book is written by the same person who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, and I have not read that book, but I saw the movie adaptation of it. I think Julia Roberts was in it, and it was really good. And I remember I was quite young, but also I in I remember I liked it. It was kind of a spiritual journey kind of story. And the last one is The Last Queen, very ironical, by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. And this author is someone, this one particular author, she is someone that I will read everything written by her. I love her. I love her writing. I love the grandeur and uh, like I don't know how to say it, but this magnitude that she brings in her stories and in her writing, and I love that. And so this is about daughter of the royal kennel keeper. The beautiful Jindan Kaur went on to become Maharaja Ranjit Singh's youngest and last queen, his favorite. She became regent when her son, Dalip, barely 6 years old, unexpectedly inherited the throne. Sharp eyed, stubborn, passionate, and dedicated to protecting her son's heritage, Jindan fought hard to keep the British from annexing Punjab. Her power and influence were so formidable that the British imprisoned and exiled the rebel queen, but that did not crush her indomitable will. An, 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 ex- an exquisite love story of a king and a commoner, a cautionary tale about loyalty and betrayal, and a powerful parable of the indestructible bond between mother and child. Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni's unforgettable novel brings alive one of the most fearless women of the 19th century and inspiration of our times. So this seems to be based on a real life story, and yeah, I'm really excited to read it. And again, I will tell you how I liked it after I finish reading it. So these are all the books that I have got recently, and I'm kind of excited to read, but I just don't seem to get enough time to read. I am so disorganized these days that I get no time to even kind of eat properly. I have started studying again, um, which seems very weird to say because I should have been studying this entire time, but I'm I am studying properly again, and I hope this works out for me. I will tell you what I'm studying for after I figure it out and after I feel like I can. Um, yeah. Other than that, I don't have any life updates. I lead a very boring life. I have not watched anything in a long time. I don't have friends in the city. I moved out of the city that I was living in, and now I am in my hometown, and I don't know anybody here other than my family. Uh, yeah, it's getting boring, but it's also it seems like since I have moved here, I have no time to read. I used to read constantly, and I used to have time to read. That was one thing that I had and I used to do. But now it seems like I don't get enough time to do anything since I moved here, and I'm not liking it, but I also have to figure it out somehow. So, yeah, that was all that I wanted to share with you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.